All right, Shalom Akim. Before we begin, I want to start off by giving infinite praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, Agri Millstones, may teach and rule well, may toss this truth, and peace and blessings be unto you, full of Akim, your brothers. Let us push out this word in truth, faith, and sincerity. And I don't know to in this lesson. I'm not sure what the title is going to be yet, but I'm just going to be bringing out supporting precepts, of course, on the times that we're in now, currently, the season, also as well as a prime example of a spirit that we're not supposed to be in. That was pretty much of a time, So this is I'm gonna start off in the book of Ecclesiastes 3:1. It says, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted." I'm going to go down to verse 4. It says, "A time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance." All right. And when you keep going, essentially it goes into the what's that term? The antonyms, essentially the synonyms. All right, the clashing of things. Because it's a balance. All right, the power whom we serve, Yahweh Shai, is indeed a power of balance, and everything else that isn't of is what is it? It's an abomination, a false balance. Now the times that we're in, obviously, is what the time of the Pasach. All right, I'm going to the book of Chronicles, the 30th chapter. Brothers probably know what I'm going to be touching on is pretty much the Hezekiah's Passover. All right, because when you go into it, this indeed was a time when it was able to be observed. All right, and it was actually quote unquote celebrated. When you look up the definition of celebration, it's a feast you keep with joy, and gladfulness. All right, and actually, as a matter of fact, because this indeed also is a feast as well, the feast of unleavened bread, right? But this isn't, again, it's not a feast that one would think to where you raise your glasses in a memoriam of just joy. This is the book of this is the book of 2 Chronicles 30:1. "And Hezekiah sent to all Israel and Judah, and wrote letters also to Ephraim and Manasseh, that they should come to the house of the Lord at Jerusalem to keep the Passover unto the Lord power of Israel. For the king had taken counsel, and his princes and all the congregation in Jerusalem, to keep the Passover in the second month." Third verse is the point as to why. It says, "For they could not keep it at that time, because the priests had not sanctified themselves sufficiently, neither had the people gathered themselves together to Jerusalem." All right, and right. So if you keep reading, it probably says it. I'm gonna speed read. But yeah, before a time, essentially, the Pasach couldn't be kept. All right, wasn't sufficient. And actually, as a matter of fact, this decree is pretty much the spirit of these other men within Israel, men that don't fly particularly under the banner of Great Millstone, which they don't have to, obviously, but men that pretty much that don't teach the sincere doctrine that is able to save your soul, they pretty much are in this exact spirit, except not even, because this was just in the eyes of Yahweh Shai, but nevertheless, these other men, they just do it all willy-nilly, and they think this is just another high holy day of unity and gladness and joy, to Ephraim and Manasseh, pretty much all of Israel, right, to keep the Pasach of the Lord. Now I'm not gonna put out any names. You can probably seen it, especially during this time. This is the most time where, you can even say that Israel in general could be trending, with social media, Instagram, Facebooks, spread the word that the Pasach, that the Passover is here. Gather your friends, your family, right? Let's see. Keep reading. Yeah, I'm gonna read verse, I'll just read it right here. Verse 18. "For a multitude of the people, even many of Ephraim and Manasseh, Issachar and Zebulun, had not cleansed themselves yet did they eat the Passover, otherwise then it was written. But Hezekiah prayed for them, saying, The Lord, the good Lord, pardon every one that prepareth his heart to seek the Lord. the Most High, the Lord power of his fathers, though he be not cleansed according to the purification of the sanctuary. And the Lord hearkened to Hezekiah and healed the people. And the children of Israel that were present at Jerusalem kept the feast of unleavened bread 7 days with great gladness. And the Levites and the priests praised the Lord by day, singing with loud instruments unto the Lord. All right. And this is just. But you have to remember these other men, which I'm going to get into as well, which I'm going to bring out just before finishing this. These men, they may, not only are they particularly in this spirit of great gladness, right? They just do it without knowledge. They do it without understanding, you know? As a matter of fact, brothers made a good point last camp, how most men that attend these big multitude of, parade rallies in the name of Israel, doing things that are irrelevant, again, according to the world, things that pertain to the world, mainly, again, I'm not going to mention any names, all right, but these guys, more than likely, they don't even know who the name of the Lord is, or anything that pertains to the Hebrew, again, the milk, things that are sufficient for the milk, sufficient for any young man in the truth. Not even the basics are jotted down, and the reason why is because they're not truly in the spirit of serving the Heavenly Father, right? So, verse 22 says, And Hezekiah spake comfortably unto all the Levites that taught the good knowledge of the Lord, and they did eat throughout the feast 7 days, offering peace offerings and making confessions to the Lord, power of their fathers. And the whole assembly took counsel to keep other 7 days, and they kept the other 7 days with gladness. All right, and that's pretty much the point. Oh, I'm going down to verse 26 just to finish it out. It says, there was a great joy in Jerusalem, for since the time of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, there was not the like in Jerusalem. Then the priests, Levites, arose and blessed the people, and their voice was heard, and their prayer came up to his holy dwelling place, and even. Okay, so that again. So let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians 5. Go down to verse 6, all right? Because it was just read. Oh, 1 Corinthians 5 and 6. Yeah. 1 Corinthians 5 and 6, it says, Your glorying is not good. Know ye not that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump? All right. Now, first and foremost, as I mentioned before, these men that tend to put themselves out there in those times of these holidays. Of these holidays. Again, they're not truly, even in the year prior. See, the thing is, me personally, even then, whenever we find ourselves in this high holy day time after time, what do? We examine ourselves fully, 10 times more, in fact. Because we know that during this time, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai hands out judgment. All right, he hands out judgment. The signs of the times pretty much accelerate more than usual. I come to find out, right, year after year. And it's also around this time of the year that the men of the Lord essentially are the particular ones who think they may be something. They're casted out, right? They're purged, literally. All right, because essentially the Lord found no pleasure in them. See? So, and you have to ask yourselves, if Hamashiach Yahushua was here today, and this time, what spirit is he going to be in, essentially? Right? Is he going to be how he was, how he kept it in the scriptures? Because when it was kept during a dark time. That's another thing. These other people, these other Israelite men, they failed to essentially keep in memoriam that when the Passover was kept, the first go-around, it was not a pleasant time. Not even for Israel at that particular moment. And of course, I'm referring to the actual Passover, and when the angel of death pretty much passed over our houses, man. All right. Sure, it may have been a great joy to actually be delivered out of Egypt, which again we're waiting to be delivered out of the new Egypt, right? But at that time, it was a heavy time because a heavy toll was being paid regardless, a harsh judgment, in fact, to the inhabitants of Montazarium, the Egyptians. All right. And more so today, because now we think about our Lord essentially being hemmed up, right? In the memoriam of his sacrifice and things of that nature. If the scriptures are telling us that to purge out the old leaven and to keep the feast, not with old leaven, as we're going to read, what type of spirit do you think the scriptures is even implying for you to be in? It's not going to be a spirit of joyfulness. Some brothers perhaps may be mourning. Some brothers may be in a solemn spirit, as you have to be, right? Whether if you're looking back at the sins that brothers may have committed, maybe brothers in general are just determined to change their ways and to change or to get rid of certain habits that they still are struggling with to this day. You know, it could be many things. But nevertheless, the point really of Passover, not only is it now more so is a remembrance of Yahweh Shai for another year, another hopeful year that he will return. But we also know that we want him to escape and leave Egypt, right? And the fear of the Lord mixed in all the while. All right, so verse 7 it says, "Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened, for even Hamashiach, the anointed Yahushua, Passover as sacrifice for us. Therefore let us keep the feast, not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth." All right, and that's pretty much the point. These men that because we dare not even compare ourselves to these other guys that claim they really are celebrating the Passover, which again, me personally, I like to say observing or keep, right? It's just a difference within words, because when you read into it, it literally just means to, keep it with joy and with mirth and with gladness. Like we read in Chronicles, Hezekiah's Passover, which again, even that in itself was done righteously, but we're not in that time. There's a time and place and season for everything, as we read in Ecclesiastes. And that's why these are the men that they're just not. It doesn't compete with these guys. They want to be in that spirit. We're not supposed to be in that spirit. Nevertheless, we carry on. This is Ephesians 4, down to verse 20. It says, "But ye have not so learned Yahushai, if so be that ye have heard him, and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Yahushai, that ye put off concerning the former conversation, the old man." It says, "The old man which is corrupt according to this deceitful lusts, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind." And that's what brother spirit, truly the spirit that brother needs to be in as well. Just looking within yourself, look at the course that you've been running, look at the things that you can better within yourself as a true man of the Lord. And that's another thing. That could even be a prayer to ask Yahweh Shem Shai, what is required of me to be a better man of the Lord than I was before, So this is one of many things, truly, the men of the Lord, true men of the Lord would have to be in. All right, during this time of the Pasach. And if you do the things that you're supposed to do, as King David said, or as Peter through the Spirit, ye can never fall, So that's pretty much all the scriptures I had. Lord's will on this video was edifying. Let me close out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makakodash. Again, double honors to the apostles and elders. I agree millstone. The men who teach and rule well. And peace and blessings be unto you, full of alchemy, brothers. But also push out this word in truth, faith, and sincerity. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.